Well, as expected, a very, very hard game, very physical. They threw everything at us. I mean, both teams have pretty much played everybody at this point. But there will continue to be adjustments throughout. Guys did a great job of keeping pressure in the game. The fans were fantastic. We had some really good individual performances, but when you're in a playoff series, when you win, your celebrations got to be pretty short, and you got to keep focusing. So that'll be our task. And then Tuesday, I have an idea of what's coming then as far as their crowd and everything. So important win. So we'll get ready for Tuesday.
Rick, numerically, your defense was much better in the second half. What was key in turning that around from halftime and pushing forward to win this one?
Well, our pressure wasn't where it needed to be in the first half. We were able to pick it up in the second half at halftime, and it helps. It helps. So we got to keep adjusting to what's going on with their team. They're changing things up. They're playing different guys. They're doing different schemes, and we've got to keep abreast of it and keep trying to counter.
Coach, just seeing how Brook Lopez tends to hang back in the paint, why has Miles been so effective as a floor spacer and kind of an X factor for you during his first 4 games?
Well, I thought both of those guys played amazing games. Lopez was spectacular, and so was Miles. And it was a great battle between the two of them. I mean, Lopez is 14 for 18 from the field. As expected, some significant post activity, and I don't think he missed in the first half. In the second half, we did better, and he missed a couple. But he drew some fouls too, and so we gotta keep braced for what's coming from him, and then so just hard series.
Rick, how much of a challenge was it to convince your guys that Milwaukee was still a dangerous team despite the guys that weren't playing? And how did you think they responded?
Well, we had a pretty candid talk about it at 4 o'clock when we met in the locker room before our prep. And, I pointed out the same things I pointed out to you guys, that the 5 starters, all of them had, with the exception of Beverly, who'd scored 26 in the game earlier this year, all of them had scored 30 or more at least once. And so, Lopez had 39, Portis had 31 twice. We know what Middleton did here the other night with 42. And, Beasley had 30 in one game. So, Beasley had another big night tonight. So, just trying to keep our guys ready for what's coming, because, you can only do so much, and they have to experience it and go through it. But this experience is very valuable, and we've done some good things, and there's some things we certainly need to do better.
The Portis situation, how did that change the dynamic of the game?
Well, it ramped up the intensity of the overall game. It didn't make the game any easier in my mind. And I think Portis is a very underrated player, but credit to them, when they lost one of their weapons, they kept their level high. And it was a 3 or 5 point game at halftime, and it was a lot of continued work in the second half to get the win. So as far as, I didn't see a replay of what happened or anything, so I don't know anything other than what the officials told me and right afterwards.
Rick, the three-point shooting was dramatically better than it was the other night. Is there anything getting better shots, or you can attribute that number to tonight?
we just got to stay with, our process of doing the things that we're stressing defensively, trying to stay close to everybody and do it without fouling, running as best we can. And I haven't looked at the film yet, obviously, but it seemed like we got into the paint more tonight than we did in the second game. And when you get in there, you tend to get some better looks. But I can't really give you a great answer. The shot making in the NBA is an up and down thing. But the defense and the intensity and the togetherness are things that we can control. So we're trying to control those as best we can and just keep stepping into the shots are the ones to step into.
Coach, they were hanging around in that first half. What was the message in halftime to instill the importance of getting out to a strong start in that third quarter?
Well, there were some things happening, and there was some complaining to the officials a few times by our guys. And the first thing I did at halftime was point out that the fouls were 7-7. And this is a very well officiated game and very consistent, and that we need to focus our energy on each other and the things that we need to do to make it tough on Milwaukee and get it off the officials. This time of year, you're not getting anything cheap. You're not getting anything cheap. And I thought, beginning of the second half, we made a better adjustment to shift our focus a little bit, and obviously, going into Game 5, similar. It's got to be very much the same.